Happy Saturday, you guys. Okay. It's not the weather I was hoping for today, but I'll take it. There's a rainy day here in Seattle. And I've been thinking about a couple things, and I wanted to share with you guys to see if maybe anybody else, or it's just me, my crazy dysfunctional family, growing up as a kid in the 70s and the 80s was a trip. My parents, hey David, my parents played bridge with the neighbors. There may have been some key parties. I didn't notice. I didn't want to notice. I love my parents. There's some things about your parents you don't want to know. However, hey, Miss Shirley, I never realized how what you were told, what you saw, the feelings you had about money, about business, about life, all of those things. And I never thought about this, you guys. Hey, Miss Teresa. All of those things were created from experiences you had as a kid. Let that roll around for a minute, because I was kind of shocked when I began this journey of weight loss. And then, well, first I began my career with a new cosmetics company. Then I began my journey of weight loss. I was ill-prepared for what it was going to take for me to push past some of the barriers I created. And if you don't think you've created barriers for yourself, I don't care if you're a top exec, there's some barriers there. And I have been hopping over them, learning to hurdle through them. And I love my parents. Do not get me wrong. My parents did the best they could with what they knew. They were great humans. We are all creating the next therapy memories for our children. So never feel the guilt about that, moms. Just saying. But I had this relationship with business and how women, and I never realized it till just recently, how women, we work really hard. Most women work really hard. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. At that time, my dad was in the Air Force. So we moved a lot. And so my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was the mom in the neighborhood that the latchkey kids came home to. She was everybody's friend. My mom, I love my mom. But the one thing that my mom gifted me that she was unable to gift herself, I guess I should say, was the ability to believe in herself. And I never understood how your childhood and what you saw your family go through could truly affect your adulthood. Oh, you guys. So when you pop on, say hello, let me know you're here. Give me some hearts and thumbs up. If you're new, please type hashtag newbie. I'd love to know you're here. I'm just going to put on a little makeup while I share some things rolling around in my little head with you. So sometimes when we do the insane things that we do, we don't know exactly where, like, wow, where'd that come from? Like your relationship with money. It's formed, you guys. And I didn't even realize this. The relationship you have with money is formed by watching your parents' relationship with money and what your parents teach you. Well, when your parents don't have a very good relationship with money, which mine did not, it tends to create an environment where you want to repel money, not because money's bad, but because you've seen strife in your family every time there's money. So I don't know if that makes any sense. So just things I think about on a Saturday morning while I'm listening is, my mom, and actually both my parents, tried to be entrepreneurs many, many times. There was a company called We Care America. Most of you probably don't know what that is because you're all very young. But it was a great little company that my mom and dad were part of. Unfortunately, it went bankrupt, so it didn't work out. So my parents tried to be entrepreneurs. They tried to do the things that would get them out of the financial positions they had put themselves in. And they were never, as a couple, able to accomplish that. It was always this bitter, bitter fight. And so when I got married, 28 years of marriage, you guys, every time I would have a good cash flow and good money flow, I would give it all away. I would spend it. I would just get rid of it as fast as I received it. Because to me, I associated money with fighting and... Why am I putting eyeshadow on? Oh, I'll just put a little bit on. I have palette 6 coming in today. I'm so excited. I know if you're in Unique, you're excited. If you're not in Unique, you're like, yeah, whatever, lady. It's okay. I have palette 6 coming in. I'm super stoked. But I am going to put a little something on this morning so I don't frighten people. And I love this color. So, anyway, I digress. Thinking about how growing up in the 70s and 80s really affected me. I don't know, raise your hand if you are a kid who grew up in the 70s and 80s. It was such a strange time. Music was definitely taking a huge transition from love songs and ballads and sexy music to just absolutely, you know what I think? I'm going to invite a couple people. Oops, wrong one. Absolutely like the greatest time ever. I absolutely had a blast in the 70s, except for, raise your hand if your mom made your clothes. Oh my gosh, please raise your hand if your mom made your clothes. Winnie the Pooh plaid is all I'm going to say. And if you grew up in the 70s and your mom took a sewing class, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, I grew up wearing Winnie the Pooh plaid. Could be why I refuse to wear plaid now. And one of my kids loves plaid shirts, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Plaid shirts are gross. But they're not. But I think about that a lot. I think about my relationships that were formed with money. And this is kind of a deep dive that I'm doing lately. Hey, Miss Julie. It's kind of a deep dive I'm doing lately on just becoming who I was intended to become. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, because most of you probably have your shiz together. But I feel like at 50-ish, that I have things that I would like to do differently than my parents did. And and do business differently. So I'm having to learn. Sorry, I'm searching for something. I'm just going to put mascara on. It's not a big heavy day today. It's a really great rainy day. It's a fabulous day to clean the office. So I'm just but it was really interesting because I remember my parents. These are very vivid memories of my parents playing bridge, because the officers, my dad was an Air Force pilot. So officers had an Air Force club. Everybody went to the club. Everybody played bridge. They all did the same things together all the time. And yet, some couples made it. Sorry. Had a weird thing on my nose. And some couples didn't. And I think the biggest thing I strive to share with you guys by coming on here live with my crazy insane makeup is that I don't care how old you are. Be yourself. Be genuine to you. Share your gifts and talents with the world, and your tribe will find you. I promise you that your tribe will find you, and that you are worthy of all of the dreams of success that you have, whether it's in a brick and mortar store. Maybe you want to open up your own ice cream store. I have a friend that actually did that. Maybe you want to decorate cakes for a living. You guys, you are worthy of having all that you want. And my mom's generation, there were very few women who felt like they could stand up and that they were worthy of having a career and a family, because they were told by society, and that was just the time. That was kind of just the thing of the times. Women stayed home. They didn't have careers. Oh my gosh, you have to raise the children. Well, guess what? Most kids in elementary school have more supervision than they're ever going to have. The time that you need to be home for your kids, at least that's what I found, is middle school and high school. You need to be there when they get home from school. Because a lot of shiz goes down in middle school and high school. And not all of it fabulous. So a lot of women, I noticed, of my mom's generation, and a lot of women of my generation, I hear a lot, oh, I'm just not pretty enough. Or, oh, I'm not outgoing enough. I couldn't do that. Or I don't have a husband, so I couldn't do that. Guys, you don't need a husband to create a life that you love. I promise you that. Now, do I love my husband? Absolutely, I love my husband. Could I survive in life without him? Yes, I could. A husband is not a retirement plan, and I'm hugely passionate about this, you guys. So hear my heart. Please understand I am not bashing anyone whatsoever, because these are mistakes I have made. So I'm hoping that if I share mistakes I have made with you, you can make your own. I didn't save for retirement. I did not. I've almost always been self-employed, except for when I worked for the school district for 10 years. So I never saved for retirement. I didn't plan for retirement. My husband, while he has 3 pensions, he did a lot of planning for retirement. He made sure that, ooh, bright lips today. Yeah, I don't know. We'll go with subtle. You should see this. I have lips spread out all over my. I'm going to do a subtle. So, a husband's not a retirement plan. I thought it was. And my mom definitely thought it was. She never saved a dime outside of what her and my dad had. So, when my career found me and it began to take off, my 4th career, 5th career, I don't know. I started to think, well, I don't want to be in debt because I'm not a person who does well with debt. I can charge up credit cards, but I see no reason to pay the bill. So, obviously, that is not a good combination for me. So, I choose to be debt-free, except for our mortgage. We obviously have a mortgage payment. We're not debt-free of that yet. I choose to share what I think are my talents with you guys. And I think one of the biggest gifts I can give you is learn from my mistakes. Put money away for your retirement. You never know what's going to happen. Your husband and you could be together for a busquillion years. But what happens if you're not? Do you have enough money to retire in the life you become accustomed to? I don't yet, but my first goal is to have $1 million in the bank. Yes, $1 million in investments is my first goal. So I don't know. If you feel like you waited most of your life to create a retirement, or, you know, you grew up with bad relationships with money, it can relate to anything I've said. Drop some hearts, give me some hearts, give me some loves. I just wanted to share with you guys that it's never too late. 5 years ago when I began this career and it began to take off like a rocket ship, I started to stash all that money because my first goal is to have $1 million in retirement because I don't want to burden my kids. Might I need long-term health care because of some of the choices I made in the 80s? You betcha. I might. Might not. I don't know. So I want to encourage you guys to find a way to put major amounts of money away for retirement. Hey, Miss Michelle, because when you're self-employed, that doesn't always happen. And I want to retire, being able to go see my friend Michelle I think you're in Idaho. I don't know if you moved back to the other side of the state or if you're still in Idaho. But I want to be able to travel and do the things that I love for the rest of my life, which requires some planning. And my parents did the best they could with what they knew, but they never showed me how to plan for my future. Yes, I hope that I'm with my husband for a basquillion years. But if something happens to him, I need to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, because you guys, lean in. A husband is not a retirement plan. Let that sink in. And money does not set you free, but the control of it will. And I'm here to tell you, I spent years having money flow to me and spending it as fast as I possibly could, charging up credit cards, making big financial mistakes. I got our family $40,000 in debt. Yeah, think about that one for a minute. Fortunately, we got out of it. We created a plan, and we also created a plan for our future with grown children. With or without grown children, you guys, we are all one step closer to another birthday. So plan your future. And if you're looking for a little side hustle, talk to this girl, because I'm telling you, this has added to my retirement immensely. So I feel more shored up. I feel a little more confident in, my golden years, that I'm going to be able to do the things that I want to do. So I hope that all of you have planned for your futures, and all of this is just like, yeah, I already got that, girl. But if you haven't, it's never too late to grab yourself a side hustle and start putting that money away, because you know what? You don't want to be, and I'm just going to use my mom as an example. I love my mom. Good morning, Gabrielle. I love my mom to pieces, but you don't want to be, she found herself divorced in her mid-40s. She didn't have the confidence in herself to raise a teenage daughter, which I was not a simple one, let me assure you, and complete her college education and go after and chase down her dreams. She just didn't have that confidence in herself. She didn't know where to get it from. I was a child, so I'm certainly not going to, it wasn't my place to give that to her. But the one thing that she gave me was this ability to always look for solutions. And when I realized that I had truly spent the better portion of my married life so far counting on my husband for a retirement plan, I was like, oh girl, what if? And you're left broke. Broke does not look pretty on me. It does not. Broke does not look good on me. So like I said, I took my side hustle money and I am slamming it away into my retirement SEP IRA as fast as humanly possible, because when I retire, I want to have some serious fun. I want to be able to do the things that I choose to do. And if I need care for my health, I want to be able to get that care. So if you guys haven't looked into a side hustle, look into it. If you want to know more about my business, I'm always here to share with you guys. I have a huge passion I've just uncovered. I want every single woman on the planet, and I don't care what business she's in, to know that she is worthy of all of her dreams and that she can go after and achieve whatever she wants to achieve. So you guys, go after it. Write it down. Don't be afraid to chase down your dreams. You are worthy of every single dream you have. I love you guys a ton. Like I said, if you want more information about the product I used today, drop the word FACE below. If you want more information about the opportunity, drop the word opportunity below and I'll reach out to you. Other than that, I am Kelly Statema, exclusive presenter with Unique. I am so blessed to have you all in my life, on my Facebook, as my Facebook friends and some of my real life friends. And I help professional women over 35 get the most efficiency out of their makeup bag or possibly start a new career. So what I do may or may not be for you, and that's all right. But you might know somebody to be good at doing what I do. And when you send them my way, I'll have a referral bonus for you. Have an amazing day, you guys.